Hey there, and welcome to GamePoints episode 119, our weekly little get-together where we talk about recent gaming news. I am, as always, your host, Stephen Brown, and joining me today is...
I'm David.
Tonight, David, we are going to talk about Fable potentially coming back, if a WWE wrestler is a good fit for a Duke Nukem game, or movie, rather. We're going to get into some odd clothing apparel that Sony and Nike have decided to join together and get our thoughts on it. But first, before we get into any of that, we're going to talk Nintendo Labo. For those of you watching us live, by the way, feel free to join at any time. We do stream every Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here at Twitch TV/GamePoints. This is supposed to be an audience interactive podcast, so feel free to chat and hop in whenever you want. David.
Yes.
I deliberately have not asked you about Labo because I wanted to hear... I wanted to hear firsthand what your opinions are, because I don't know what way you're going to go on this. I don't know if you're going to say Nintendo successfully learned how to sell cardboard, or if you think this is possibly one of the greatest ideas of all time. So, give me your opinion on it.
I already know exactly what I'm going to say about it. This is either the smartest dumb thing I've ever seen in my life, or the stupidest smart thing anyone's ever done.
Fair enough.
For every reason you can think of. If they pull this off, they will have successfully sold cardboard to people for way more than you should reasonably spend for a bunch of cardboard. But knowing Nintendo and their quirkiness and their ability to like kind of double down on things even if they shouldn't, see how the Switch followed kind of directly in the Wii U's footsteps, even though no one thought that there should be another version of the Wii U.
It is surprisingly similar in concept, right? They're both tablets when you come down to it. You can take them wherever. Yeah. You couldn't take the Wii U wherever you want to, but it kind of had that same look to it, just not official price toy.
And potentially they could knock this out of the park, but if people realize, man, I'm paying a lot of money for stuff that I normally throw away after I move, it could not work. I don't know. It's just so bizarre, but it's a very intriguing concept. I have no intention of getting anywhere near this. I'm not going to pick it up. I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to touch it. People that got kids, and the fact that you could have a more or less peripheral-based game that doesn't require you to buy clunky plastic nonsense, and when the kid inevitably breaks the cardboard or toy or whatever the hell you want to call this, you can just grab a box and make a new one.
So I'm not sure, but I believe Nintendo has said that they will be making the patterns available online. So if that does happen, they can kind of just replace it. This is not for us.
Not even a little bit.
Nintendo is very clearly marketing this toward kids. In fact, they have
that's what they said in
labs.
Their press release before they even announced it, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's what they said in their press release, because I don't have their press release right in front of me. I would show video or press releases from Nintendo, but Nintendo has to be Nintendo, and anything we show from them gets the video claimed.
You wouldn't be able to watch this episode, basically.
Yeah, they would claim the episode.
Mm-hmm.
But they are demoing Labo in 2 major cities, New York and San Francisco, and to sign up for one of these demos, it clearly says you must be a parent with a kid 12 or under. So that is the market they're hitting, the 12 or under crowd. And this looks like if I was a kid, I think I'd be all over this goddamn thing.
It's possible. It's so not for me. It's hard for me to wrap my head around, but I get that it's interesting. All they're really doing is they're using like the Switch remotes in like an interesting way. Kind of like all the gimmicky plastic crap that you had for the original Wii.
That's literally what I was going about to compare it to, is we all remember like the Zelda's or Link's crossbow training for the Wii, or the stupid wheel you put your remotes in. This is that, but you can just print them up at home now. Yeah.
Which is kind of nice for the consumer. It's a little weird. You just need one of these kits, which I guess is more or less the game plus the pre-printed nonsense.
Yeah,
that you need
so
to
they start
components.
They start at $69.99, which is that they start at that. And different kits will be different prices, but
which is just slightly more than a normal game.
Yeah, because it does come with the software. The software itself is either a full game or a collection of mini games, and it has the extra charge for the cardboard and parts that come with it. One thing that I really like about this is These things are more than just fold a couple pieces together and you have something. These little origami bits of paper you create, they look really complex. Like, if you take a look at the robot game one, when you actually put the backpack on and you have, like, the foot pedals and the arms and what looks like a quasi-VR screen, that shit looks surprisingly complicated to assemble.
It does. It's got a bunch of, like, rubber bands and stuff on the backpack that made it look... I don't know what the hell it was doing, but
it has some kind of pulley system attached to it.
It looked fancy.
Hey, Real Pie Master, how you doing? Long time no see in the chat. We appreciate you being here. And yeah, Nintendo would steal the 3... We don't even make 3 pennies, man. I don't monetize these. But
hey, do you want to walk around with that backpack suit on?
I don't... I know 12-year-old kids, right? That backpack suit where you're punching and like that. Well, I know how they are because I was one. So that backpack looks cool and all, and you're like punching slowly and stuff like that. No 12-year-old kid is going to be punching and kicking slowly. They are going to be running around, jabbing like they're Mike Tyson. And if they don't just fall flat, because that's the switch is right in front of their eyes, they can't see shit. If they don't just fall flat on their ass, they're going to break that cardboard in a matter of minutes, if not hours.
It'll be quick, that's for sure. But that's why it's genius that it's a cardboard thing.
Yeah, I mean...
Because then you just get more cardboard. People are going to be raiding behind department stores like crazy, trying to find empty boxes.
I didn't even think about that. Like, if you're trying to move, you're screwed. That's go to Home Depot. It just doesn't quite... I don't know. I'm curious to know how well they tested these with kids to see the durability on it. Because I don't see any of these lasting the initial day it's built.
Well, it's funny because it's one of those things where if this was us a year ago, we'd probably say, this is the stupidest thing anyone's ever thought of, and how are they possibly think this will be successful? And after the last year they've had, I don't know. It's hard to bet against them right now.
Yeah, I don't think this
the momentum's in their favor for sure. So now's their chance to just do whatever the hell they want and be like, look at me, I'm Nintendo.
I don't think this is going to advance to grow beyond a niche market. This is going to be one of those weird little things that Nintendo puts out a new kit for every couple months or so, probably for about a year, and then I think it's just going to quietly go away. It's interesting to see Nintendo... I mean,
that's what I thought about Amiibo.
Yeah, fair enough. It's interesting to see Nintendo take these risks again. Because last year was very... I don't want to say unrisky, but it was very safe. I know it's the opposite of risky, but it felt safe. What games did they roll out, right? Mario and Zelda. A new solid JRPG from a franchise people enjoy. A rehash of a Nintendo Wii game from a series that people really love. That's Mario Kart 8. It was a very safe Nintendo. I think the most quirky they got was ARMS. And you can argue Mario and Rabbids, but even then, while that combination is quirky, the gameplay itself is not unusual. It's found in XCOM. This is the first time Nintendo has really done something daring with the Switch beyond the hardware itself.
That's true. I mean, I'm just going to sit around with everybody else and wait for another Nintendo Direct to happen so that we know what else is happening besides cardboard game.
Well, if it holds true to history, we'll have one in another 2 weeks because there is apparently...
That's what the internet says.
Yeah,
There's
apparently the internet...
If you're a conspiracy theorist...
Apparently the internet claims that every time Nintendo does a mini Direct, they always do a full Direct 3 weeks after that. And I believe that would be another 2 weeks from tomorrow? I'm not positive on that.
I don't know.
Anyways, if you're interested in Nintendo Labo, I recommend taking a look at their website. It'll be linked down below. Once again, I would show you pictures and video, but Nintendo is very hot on that claim and monetize button they have.
It's labo.nintendo.com.
Yeah, it launches April 20th and April 20th, 2018, starting at $69.99. And that makes me think that there has to be some kind of joker in the marketing department at Nintendo to launch a product on $420 at the price of $69.
It's possible.
Okay, not even a chuckle, nothing, just stone faced.
Yeah, I don't think they care. They can do whatever they want, man. I can't bet against them. Just do it. Live your dreams, Nintendo.
All right.
Bring me another F-Zero.
Yeah, we wish, right? I
Uh,
I don't necessarily want to move on from this talk, but I'm fascinated by Nintendo Labo, but I just have no interest in playing it. It's like I want to be able
well,
to.
yeah, exactly. How much can you say about the cardboard game for kids?
Yeah, exactly. I am fascinated by it. I really like the idea of it, but I mean, like you said, it's a cardboard game for kids, and I'm sure they'll really get a kick out of it. I'm not paying $70 just to play around with it, though. I would like to be given a copy for free and play with it for like 5 minutes. Go, oh, okay, this is how this works, and I'll probably never touch it again. I know that sounds kind of entitled.
That's okay. Just wait, and you can buy just the game by itself from GameStop for like $30, like 6 months after it comes out.
I don't even know. I just want to take one apart. I want to see what makes it tick.
What apart?
I'm using
you just
that.
want to play with a damn robot backpack.
Yeah, I'm using that metaphor. I'm using that. Can't talk tonight. I'm not being literal when I say take it apart. I just want to get a hold of it and see how responsive it is and exactly what is there, because it's still all kind of one big question mark for me at the moment. Anyways, Nintendo Labo, April 20th. I'm sure it will sell to some degree. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a huge seller.
That is the least committal prediction I've ever heard on this show. I'm sure that it will sell to at least some degree. Congratulations, you sold between 1 and 6 million copies.
What I mean by that is I don't think it's necessarily going to bomb, but this is such a niche thing. The Toys to Life idea is not as booming as it used to be. I don't want to say it's dead because Amiibo's still around and Ubisoft has their Starlink game coming out.
Which is going to bomb.
Yeah, that is going to bomb. But, man, I have, like, no real opinion on Labo. It looks cool, okay. It might as well, like, be a completely separate system to me.
Do the robot things actually walk? That's what I want.
I have no idea. Husky in chat, by all means, ask any questions you want. Can't promise I'll get to them, but feel free to ask. In the meantime, we are going to go ahead and hop over to the next topic. David, why don't you go ahead and lead us off on that?
Well, this is almost weirder than the fact that Nintendo is going to be selling cardboard. This article is from Eurogamer, and apparently Microsoft has decided that Fable needs to come back with none of the original Fable staff behind it. Anyway, quote from the site: Fable franchise owner Microsoft has tasked the UK developer Playground, which are the guys that made Forza games for Xbox and PC, with creating the new Fable. Sources close to the project have told Eurogamer. Microsoft said in a statement it does not comment on rumors or speculation, so they don't really want to talk about it. Potentially, this is very, very early in development. Like, they're still working on building a staff, getting a team. They want to get, like, I think a couple hundred people working on it. Right now, that team is still in the double digits, so not even close. And it's just really weird to me that they, closed Lionhead. They got rid of all the staff that was working on Fable Legends. Those guys didn't want to make Fable Legends in the first place. They wanted to make Fable 4, and now they don't get to, and it's given to the guys that make really good racing games. It's interesting. I like Fable as a concept. I don't think any of the games ever delivered exactly what they needed to based on how they were sold, but don't get me wrong, they're still fun games, and I'm happy to see another one come out, especially since I'll probably get to play this one on PC at launch and not have to wait for it.
Yeah, I mean, Xbox has to have something, right? We've talked about this before. They have Crackdown and Sea of Thieves. They own Minecraft, but what really do they have unique? Gears of War isn't the big seller that it used to be. Halo isn't the big seller that it used to be. They got Forza, I guess. That sells pretty well.
Which is why they're giving this to that team. Like, they're giving it to the only team that can sell a game right now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. How pissed off do you have to be if you worked at Lionhead?
Oh, man. Raging. Are you kidding me?
Because, like you said, the rumor is that they actually wanted to make Fable 4, but they were kind of pressured by Microsoft to start making this online Fable Legends, which, if I recall, was going to be asymmetrical multiplayer, right? Game
as a service Fable game.
Yeah. And they pulled the plug on that, and they're like, well, we wanted to make this, and now you wanted to make this instead. You canceled that. And then, because of how well Horizon sold for Sony, Apparently, that was one of the factors to make Microsoft go, maybe we should make a Fable 4. And then they bring on a completely different team. Not even people who worked on Fable to begin with. Not even like a different group of people. Or not even the same group of people. They brought in a completely different studio to work on it.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I really want to talk to some people from Lionhead and ask them, how do you guys feel about this? Now, Peter Molyneux was interviewed by IGN recently, and he seemed kind of cool to the idea. He's like, awesome, take it, run with it. We'll see how it goes. You can find that interview floating around somewhere. But, man, it just... I guess, remember how when that Star Wars Visceral game was canceled by EA, and everyone was saying, hey, this is the death of single-player games. For like about 2 weeks there, there was all these hot takes and articles about the death of single-player games.
Single-player games are gone. Never gonna happen again.
This is like the exact opposite of what all those were stating, because it sounds like if this is truly Fable 4, it will just be a single-player game, possibly with some added online content to get people to keep reinvesting money into it. But this is not the death of a single-player game, and I think we're seeing evidence of that here. To go back to chat there, Husky says, I have a badass background. Thank you, Husky. I appreciate it. Let's see what else. Real Pie Master says, Square increased the price of Pirelli chips?
Pirelli?
Pirelli? I don't know what that's in relation to, unfortunately, man. Sorry. But yeah, it's exciting to see Microsoft investing into their old IPs again and actually making single-player content, because God knows they haven't done really anything in a while other than release the Xbox One X, which is a solid system, but doesn't really speak to me anywhere. And
because it has no games, and all the games that it has are also on PC, and the PC can play them better.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to bring up next. Like you mentioned at the start of this topic here, they put all their shit on PC, which I personally love. It keeps me from having to bust out my Xbox One.
Yeah, it keeps you from needing an Xbox, because we're in a world where you can play every single game released if you own a Switch, a PC, and a PS4. There's no reason to have an Xbox in there.
Yeah. Unless...
Because you have access to every single exclusive if you own all three.
Well, I can think of a couple reasons why. I don't want to sell the Xbox One short. For example, last generation, the Xbox 360 was the winner of that.
That's true.
So if your
gamer, a lot of those games are available for play on the new one.
And if your gamer tag was associated with that system, and your friend online ecosystem was associated with that system, I can understand why you would bring it over to the Xbox One. Additionally, there are just a lot of people out there who hate dealing with all the troubles of PC gaming. Both David and I here, I think, are PC gamers through and through. That's our preferred go-to system. But I think we're both willing to admit that there is a lot of bullshit involved with PC gaming.
Yeah, from patches, from bad ports, from incompatible graphics card drivers, and all kinds of other nonsense. It is occasionally a pain in the ass. The other big thing that I always have to bring up, though, that the Xbox can sell, but this isn't just for the X, this is just for the Xbox in general, is you can play HD Blu-rays on it. It has better sound output. Yeah, and
it does Blu-ray better than the company.
It's also more affordable for teenagers.
I don't know the prices, unfortunately.
Well, no, an Xbox is a hell of a lot cheaper than a gaming PC.
I was thinking between PlayStation 4 and Xbox for some reason. I don't know why I blanked on the PC conversation.
If you go back to like Christmas, holidays, they were both at the exact same price. So like the base model of both you can get for about the same price. You can probably get a pack-in game for each and get it for what, $300 or so.
Yeah.
And depending on which game you want to play, maybe you're better off getting the Xbox bundle than the PlayStation bundle. Maybe you just want to play whatever.
Let us know what you think in chat down below if you're watching on YouTube or live, if you're watching us live, about what you think about Fable coming back. I just wanted to hammer home that we're not necessarily bashing the Xbox One. There's just no reason for either one of us to own it. So, next topic, as we hard transition to the next story. A new Alien game is coming, David.
Who's making it? That's pretty much the only important part.
Well, let's find out. This is via The Hollywood Reporter, which is odd for a gaming show to mention, but here we are. It says, quote, a new Alien video game is in the works from Fox Next. Fox Next Games, the video game virtual reality and theme park division of 20th Century Fox, has announced a new shooter game that would be set in the Alien universe. I want to put a pause right here and mention two things. One, Alien shooter always sounds cool, but has never really been done right for a long time. The most recent example of an Alien shooter is Aliens Colonial Marines, and we all remember the garbage fire that was. Not to be confused with the extremely excellent Alien Isolation, but that really wasn't what I consider a shooter. That was more of a survival horror. In fact, you couldn't even really shoot the alien or you're dead. Also,
I mean, which is what if you're making a game based on Alien is what it needs to be.
Yes, I agree. Also, notice this says Alien Universe. That would include Alien Covenant, which you see up top there, as well as Prometheus, so we might have something that spans all of it. Plus, when they say Alien Universe, we don't know if that includes Predator or not. Fox might, it's a very nebulous term. They didn't say any one movie, they just said Alien Universe. Anyways, going on from the article. The game will be the first Alien game since the Alien game title since 2014's Alien Isolation on the Xbox One and other systems. The article is a bit poorly written, or lacking in information, I should say. The new game will be available for PC and console gameplay, but specific details are still under wraps. Bay Area-based Cold Iron Studios, which was just acquired by Fox Next on Wednesday, will develop the game. Cold Iron is comprised of many ex-Cryptic Studio vets who are responsible for City of Heroes and Villains, Champions Online, Star Trek Online, and Neverwinter. A bunch of MMOs.
Interesting. These guys all make games that you continue to pay for forever.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt this is going to be an Alien MMO, right? You know what I think
it's going to be an arcade game.
Like a beat-em-up, like that Aliens vs. Predator arcade game, which was amazing?
No, like the original Aliens arcade game from like 1980, whatever.
I don't remember the original Aliens arcade game.
From like 1990? The side-scroller?
Oh, yeah, so there was a beat-em-up. Yeah, it was Aliens. It wasn't Aliens. No, it wasn't Aliens versus Predator beat 'em up. It looked like Final Fight.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was Aliens versus Predator.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Because AVP was a totally different game, and those games were also fun.
So it's unlikely this is Alien Isolation 2, unfortunately, because it's not Creative Assembly. Sega has no hand in it, and that kind of sucks. And when it comes to Alien games, there are a lot of hits and misses. Once the aforementioned Alien Isolation was excellent. That Aliens vs. Predator side-scrolling brawler game is good. Alien 3 on the Super Nintendo, surprisingly good for a Super Nintendo game. And the DS game, Alien Infestation, is a Metroidvania set in the Alien universe and really well done. But for every good Alien game, there is a bad Alien game. Once again, Colonial Marines.
I think there's more than one bad one compared to every good one.
Yeah, the new Alien vs. Predator shooter by Rebellion, not the excellent one made in 2000, but like the one made in 2012, I think. That was horrible. You would figure making an Aliens game would be a slam dunk with that property, but just people have a hard time doing it.
Oh, well.
If I were to venture a guess as to what this is, given the fact that a lot of people are made from Cryptic Studios, and they made a lot of MMO stuff, my guess is that this is going to be a Left 4 Dead style game. We have one person playing the alien and 4 colonists.
Or it could run, I mean, same concept, but running like Vermintide, where you have like 4 people and they need to get out of whatever area.
Yeah, here's your 4 Colonial Marines and here's a bunch of aliens, which in my mind sounds fucking amazing.
Yeah, that could be fun.
And that would let you work through, you could do multiple gameplay modes through multiple periods of time, right? So aliens would be your 4-player Vermintide mode.
They'll have to make more interesting versions of the aliens, so you'll have like proto-aliens, you'll have all kinds of stuff, because otherwise you're literally just going to be shooting that same dude every time.
Yeah.
Until you get to the end boss and fight a queen.
Well, you can go multiple ways with it, right? You can go that Vermintide route where you're Colonial Marines shooting a bunch of aliens, or you can go the Alien Isolation route and make it like Evolve, where you have pick your style of alien and you're hunting for people through like the Nostromo.
Okay. And they shoot you and you bleed acid.
Yeah. So
then you get acid spit.
I'm sure we will get more information on this by E3, I'd imagine, but we'll see how this shakes out. I am tepidly excited for it. It's like, okay, it's not Alien Isolation 2, but we'll see where it goes.
Well, if you're slightly excited, I'm going to have to just go ahead and say it's going to be trash. Because that's The only two ways it's gonna go.
You could be really excited for it, I guess. I
No.
just nothing about
No, I
nothing
can't.
about this announcement is really selling the game to me. I feel
Well, the problem
that
is everything about it. This is a story from the Hollywood Reporter. Foxnet Games, the guys that make fucking virtual reality and theme parks for 20th Century Fox, are making a shooter because they just bought a studio that made a bunch of MMOs. None of those facts get me hyped about this game.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. Just everything about the story itself, including where it's coming from, is speaking to me.
Yeah, it's just okay. Good job, I guess. Good luck. I believe in you.
Speaking of the Hollywood Reporter, David,
Somehow we have not one but two damn stories from the Hollywood Reporter, and you will not see this one coming. John Cena is in negotiations to star in a goddamn Duke Nukem movie.
now based on looks alone, they have fucking nailed it. Like, just based on looks alone, John Cena, if you put him in fucking dark sunglasses, looks like fucking Duke Nukem. But if you want to
Can
talk
he do the
about...
voice right?
No, I can't even come close.
No, can he do the voice
Oh,
right?
I have no idea.
Can we just dub him with John St. John? 'Cause
That would be amazing.
I would definitely watch that movie.
From the article itself, John Cena is getting ready to shoot up some aliens. The wrestler turned actor is in negotiations to star in Duke Nukem, a big screen adaptation of the popular video game franchise featuring the politically incorrect action hero that is set up at Paramount Platinum Dunes. The company run by Michael Bay, Andrew Form, and Brad Fuller will produce the movie. No directors on board at this stage. Search for a writer will begin soon to develop a script for what is intended to be a star vehicle for Cena. When I woke up today, I did not expect to have to say the words John Cena starring in a Michael Bay produced adaptation of Duke Nukem.
And it just couldn't be more timely. I mean, really. Duke Nukem is like an all-time frenzy right now. People are so excited for it.
A small part of me wants to see this.
Oh, dude, I will be there opening day. I'll be there at midnight with my popcorn. We're ready to rock and roll.
Because John Cena, Michael Bay, and Duke Nukem, doesn't that sound like... Those three things are very similar to each other, and it sounds like it should work.
Dumpster fire, and I can't wait to stare into it for an hour and 3 minutes, or however long they manage to squeak that thing out.
Here's the thing: I don't think that movie's going to fly, because you're either going to piss off like the 5 hardcore Duke Nukem fans because
they did something wrong.
Yeah, they did something wrong, and given
or you're gonna piss off everybody because you did it right.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting at. With the whole Me Too movement, do you really think that making a Duke Nukem game is going to fly in Hollywood if you make him true to what Duke Nukem is? There's just no way in hell.
I don't know. No
way in hell that this movie is going to come close to being as over the top. I'm going to use a bunch of dog whistle terms here, and I hate it. Misogynistic, borderline racist, overtly sexist character that is Duke Nukem. Like, he is like everything that was like that we consider bad now politically in the 90s. There is no way Hollywood is going to turn that into a movie at all. Meaning either they stick true to the vision and everyone's pissed, like you said, or they completely rewrite the character, and the people who would actually go see the movie are pissed. Who are you marketing this to?
Yeah, that's my big question. Who wants to see this movie? Besides us.
This reminds me of the disaster that was Universal Soldier 2. A movie I went to see opening day with a friend of mine. And we went right into the theater on a Friday night, and the theater was dead empty except for the two of us on opening night. That is what this movie is going to be like the day it launches. And by the way, I fell asleep during that movie too, because I was just drunk off my ass. No good can come from this. No good can come from Duke Nukem anymore, man. I want to love the character so much because I love John St. John so much. But there's nothing salvageable here at all.
Yeah, but what if they make a movie tie-in game?
No,
You know how good those are.
They did that. It's called Eat Lead, the Matt Hazard story.
Oh, yeah. Can I just make a movie based on Bulletstorm instead?
I'd pay money to see that. I wouldn't pay $60 to play it again with Duke Nukem in it.
Like the closest to a spiritual successor to the Duke Nukem franchise that we've gotten.
Yeah,
it's like a logical progression to what the character would be like if he had friends.
Let's not forget that Duke Nukem was recently re-released in Bulletstorm, or recently introduced into the re-release of Bulletstorm, or did that come out already? I think that came out.
Probably.
Anyways, David, why don't you go ahead and lead us to our last story of the night before we ran things up here?
Okay, basically proving that it's still January and nothing interesting is happening in the gaming world. Nike is making PlayStation shoes.
Yep.
That's a thing that's happening.
It's not good. Collaboration between Nike and Oklahoma City basketball player Paul George has launched a shoe called the PG2 that features lighting tongues branded with the PlayStation and PG logos. Button inside the tongues let you turn the lights on or off, and there's also a pulse mode where the lights flicker and vibrate, much like a DualShock controller.
Yeah, dude, and those eyelets for the shoelaces are in the PS4 button colors. And it's got like a Galaxy thing on the side.
So
it's got the PlayStation logos all over them.
Here's the thing.
They're only $110.
I don't hate it.
You can't replace the batteries.
I don't hate this shoe.
Dude, I would totally wear this shoe. Come on.
I'm not going to spend $110 on it, but as far as niche, weird, collectible one-off brands go, this isn't necessarily a bad one. I could do without the weird Galaxy print on the sides, but everything else about it's fine.
Galaxy's what sells it.
I do think the PlayStation logo on the tongue's kind of garish too, but you got to have that branding on there somewhere. The battery, like you said, can't be swapped out, and apparently has a lifespan around 150 hours. So once those die, you got to get creative to get some charge back in there again. But yeah,
if you're the kind of person that buys these shoes, you don't wear any pair of shoes for 150 hours.
Yeah,
you
probably.
have a closet full of shoes that you wear like 3 times a year.
Yeah, I could see that. Anyways, if you want your pair of these PG2 shoes from Paul George, Nike, and PlayStation, you can buy them on February 10th for $110. I have no idea who's going to be getting them, but if you look at the PlayStation blog post that this is on, which of course will be linked down in the notes below, a lot of people seem positive on this. I don't know if... Am I out of touch or is it the children that are wrong?
They look kind of cool. Are you wondering if you're out of touch or if it's the kids who are wrong?
Yes.
It's you.
Oh, okay. I saw these shoes and I went, they look all right. I'm not going to buy them, but who the hell's going to have an interest in them? And apparently, people are into this. Apparently, garish ass looking shoes are popular right now. Who'd have thunk it? Anyways, David.
Yes.
If you want these shoes, you got to wait till February to get them.
Dang, that's super far from now.
But if I'm going to spend my money this week, what can I spend it on?
Well, I mean, it depends. Do you only have $110? Because I have some very specific recommendations.
Yes, I have exactly $110.
Okay. Buy 2 copies of Monster Hunter. No, sorry. Let's talk about new releases coming out this week. Well, I kind of let the cat out of the bag, but Monster Hunter World is definitely coming out on Friday. And that's coming out on PS4 and Xbox One. Unfortunately, the PC version of the game is not coming out. As far as we know, it's been pushed to August.
August sounds right.
Around there.
August sounds right.
But it'll be towards the end of the year. But there you go. Now you can finally play it. The last beta just wrapped up this last weekend. They added the flagship monster, Nergigante, to the game, which was actually pretty dang fun to fight.
Is that the thing that's on the cover?
That is the thing that's on the cover.
Right. My knowledge of Monster Hunter is extremely limited. I might have played like an hour and a half of it total. I'm really excited to get my hands on this one, though.
Yeah, this is pretty much just what I'm doing.
This has been your life for the past, like, week and a half. Since the betas have been dropping, this has been your life.
Yeah, basically. Also coming out this week, if you don't want to wait until Friday, you can play Subnautica, which is finally out of early access on PC. I mean, you could technically play it now, or you could have played it a month ago, but this is the underwater-based survival open world exploration game. So very akin to, I don't know, a million other survival open world games. If you want to compare it to Ark, if you want to compare it to Conan, or if you want to compare it to what the hell is that one space game like Astroneer? Do you want to compare it to? I don't know. There's a million games that fit.
Yeah,
this
they're
exact
all
criteria.
survival games. Long, dark.
Actually looks pretty interesting, and more importantly, continually has an overwhelmingly positive review on Steam, even as an early access title. A lot of the reviews I've read say that this is probably like the most complete early access game to come out of early access.
Yeah, I was about to say,
it feels like it's a full game's worth of content when it switches to 1.0.
One thing,
which is awesome.
The most amazing thing about the whole thing is that this is a survival game that is coming out of early access.
Yeah. And yeah, you more or less like crash on an alien world, and you have to go survive. So you make equipment, you drive around in submarines, you have to worry about wildlife, explore coral reefs, caves, all kinds of cool stuff.
Kind of breaking up there a little bit. Let's give it a few seconds to shake out. All right, I think we're good.
I'm not here to shake out.
We're here to do a mediocre to poor job at being hosts.
Exactly. I'm here to phone it in and chew bubble gum. And well, here's some bubble gum. Also coming out this week, Lost Sphere for PC, PS4, and Switch. Hey, look, guys, a Switch game. It's a JRPG. It's on Switch. It's from the Tokyo RPG Factory. Those are the guys that did I Am Setsuna, that game that's very similar to all the RPGs you loved when you were a kid.
So, a couple things about this one. One, I love that the developer's called Tokyo RPG Factory, because that's literally all they do is make RPGs. It's like they named it exactly what that is. Two, I Am Setsuna was...
Depending on who you ask, take that with a grain of Steven.
You can tell that it really wanted to be Final Fantasy 4 and 6 and Chrono Trigger and all those great Super Nintendo RPGs, but nothing really clicked with it. It just felt bland and lifeless. Lost Sphere, hopefully, improves on that. It doesn't look like the graphics have come up at all. In fact, it looks to be using the exact same assets almost. I don't want to say the same assets. It's not using the same art or anything like that. But as far as like the engine goes and the style of game, if you're putting them side by side, you'd be forgiven to mistake the two games if you mistake the two games for the same thing. I'm hoping what they nailed is the character development and the story, and actually have something original, because I Am Setsuna very blatantly cribbed off of those aforementioned Super Nintendo games I was talking about. Like, it was obvious. The entire plot paralleled Final Fantasy X for all intents and purposes.
Okay, as much as you want to hate on another game that's old as shit and not relevant to this conversation, this new game isn't that one at all, and it's called Lost Sphere, and it comes out tomorrow, and you can play it. Or not. I don't give a shit. You do whatever you want, but fuck you. Also coming out this week, Impatient for PlayStation VR. This game actually looks pretty damn dope, I'm not going to lie. It's 60 years prior to Until Dawn. You are a person, I don't know if you're a man or woman or if it doesn't matter, who has amnesia, who is in a sanitarium. And you have to figure out why, how, and what the fuck you're going to do without getting yourself or your friends killed.
Yeah, the idea that this is a... I don't want to necessarily say a prequel to Until Dawn, because it might give people the wrong impression of what this gameplay is going to be like.
It just takes place in the same universe, which is pretty cool.
That's really goddamn cool. We're going to see the fall of this insane asylum and why it was shut down from firsthand. And it's in PSVR. Apparently, it's super creepy. I want to say... I always get them confused. Is it Tobey Maguire or Elijah Wood that was in this? Because I get those two bastards confused. I'll look this up.
I don't know. I didn't pay attention to that part. I just thought that this game looked really dope.
Let's see. Impatient. Blah, blah, blah.
I don't know.
This is not telling me. One of those people's involved in it, though.
Maybe there's a famous guy in it. All I know is with or without famous people, this game looks pretty damn cool. And if you have a PSVR sitting around and you don't have anything to play, of which how much stuff has there been to play recently, maybe pick this up and let me know how it goes.
Yeah, but I likely will. We'll see how that shakes out.
And finally, shaking us back to Friday. If you are not a Monster Hunter fan and you don't like hunting giant monsters and prefer fighting things in 2 dimensions, the Dragon Ball Fighter Z game comes out on Friday as well for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. This is the 2D fighting game made from Arc System Works, the same guys that did Guilty Gear, BlazBlue, some other damn good fighters. It's got a tag out mechanic, so playing it looks a lot like playing like a Marvel vs. Capcom game, but it's super damn stylish. It looks amazing, and it has a lot of nods to the old school Dragon Ball game. So if you're like a Dragon Ball fan, probably a good pick. If you're a fighting game fan, probably a good pick.
And apparently doing very well. I believe it currently has an 87 on Metacritic, which is weird to see a Dragon Ball Z fighting game rate well. But apparently we have a good Dragon Ball game again, if you're a fan of the franchise. I could personally care less about it. It's 2 things I just have no interest in, Dragon Ball and fighting games. But all early reviews are it's a solid game.
Yeah. It's unfortunate for me that it's coming out on Friday.
Yeah, well,
I'm going to be busy.
Very few things are going to pull you away from Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Anyways,
this is basically the game that's out until it comes out again at the end of the year.
Yeah. If we missed anything of importance, please feel free to let us know either at GamePoints PC on Twitter, or you can email the show at GamePointsPC@gmail.com. Same thing with any news stories that you think we might have gotten wrong or that we just missed, and we'll be sure to talk about them next week on next week's show.
You can direct them to my complaint department.
Yeah, which is me. Anyways, this has been GamePoints episode 119. We are ending about 15 minutes early because, once again, we are still in January. Just no information about much of anything right now.
We're not early. We're ending precisely when we mean to.
Right. That's exactly what it is. If you liked what you saw here and you're watching us on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe and like and comment down below. If you're watching us on Twitch, give us a follow and be sure to tune in live every Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at twitch.tv/GamePoints if you want to be part of the show. Ask questions, comments, concerns, anything you want done there. I do try to address you while the show is going. If you want to follow the show, you can do so at Twitter on GamePoints at GamePointsPC, or you can follow us individually. I am Stephen Brown at CapitalistPig21. That over there is David Smith at PalShop_Satori. And until next Monday, this has been GamePoints. Thank you for watching, and we're out of here.